Ladies and gentlemen, believers, hivelings, and everyone in between, I am your host, the Golden Warrior. Unfortunately, my co-host, the ruler of all hosts, Donovan Cartwright, is not here at the moment, but we will work our hardest to get with him. But for now, I have with me the realest Coco in the room. For the second time on this fabulous show we call Golden Report, we have with us Karen from the Monday show. How are you doing, Coco? How are you doing?
Pulling up. And for people who don't know, I did post a quick status on Wednesday, so you want to know why I was out? Check that video out.
Dope. Well, I'm glad you're doing okay. I'm glad you're feeling better. I can't imagine what you were going through, but I'm glad you're here now. Glad you're here now. We're gonna try and make this as positive and full of positive energy as possible. So for one thing, I don't. Did you watch? Did you? Well, I can give you the results of Impact if you didn't see it, but
I did not see it, even though I was home last night.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I was not there for a few days.
All right. Where were you if you weren't at home?
No, I mean, like, mentally I was not
Oh,
there.
right. So
physically I was, mentally I was gone.
right, of course. So sorry. Were you both saying, are you? I can't really combat this, but it's like I'm just my main thing is that the fact that to hear from you right now, despite all the things you've gone through, it's very positive to me. It uplifts me. Actually, you're motivating me right now, as I used to say in the military. You're motivating me right now because you're through something dark, hard, and you're still here. So that's all I can give you. Just stay positive. Stay positive.
Yeah, I like look at 2:30, so I'm good right now.
Yeah. So on Impact today, on last night, Eli Drake said he's going to have his next week is going to have I'm trying to remember how you put it. It's the second gravy train turkey hunt or something like that. It's
gravy train full tournament, something like that.
Gravy. It's like, well, it's something. It's like it's a 5-on-5. It's like his team Eli Drake versus Team Falaba, and if memory serves me correctly, the loser has to put on a turkey suit.
Yeah, I saw it last year. Basically, what they're doing is that, and then I guess you have to eat a certain amount or whatever. Who knows? And then it ends up in a freaking food fight.
Does it always end in a food fight?
Last week I think it did. I mean, last year I think it did.
Okay, well, here I got the full name. It says it's the second annual Gravy Train Turkey Trot. Here, let me see if we can find out. Let me see if we can find out who's in it. From the looks of it, it looks like who won last year, Karen? Who won it last year?
Gosh, it was Team Alley. I have to say that because I remember Alley being in one of it, another team, and then there was another female in the other one, and then definitely Chris Master had to wear it. If not, Eli Drake had to wear it. Or stripping, I can't recall right, but all I know is Chris Masters ended up wearing it.
Oh yeah, that's the image I see right now. I'm seeing him putting it on.
Chris Masters was like, "No, get away from me." And they're like, "You either do it, or we have to get Eli Drake to do it. One of the two."
So that was good. That's it's so funny. That was last year, and then like I said, I'm not sure the teams on it this year. I'm actually curious about this thing. They have posts of it. It looks like I'm trying to see if they have the teams of it. Who are on the teams of it last year? I'm trying to. Anyway, the other thing was Eddie Edwards got committed last night. For those if you don't know what committed means, it means they got sent to an insane asylum or just a mental health treatment center of some kind. It started with Alicia Edwards trying to tell Moose to leave the building in case when Eddie shows up, because he was gonna show up, because Eddie and Moose they're really getting at it. They've been at it since Bound for Glory, actually since before. No, yeah, they've been at it since before Bound for Glory, and it's just gotten more and more. At one point, Moose almost threw Eddie Edwards off a roof. And that's not a joke. He almost did, but he failed. So then, since then, they had a match last week, and Eddie got Moose powerbombed Eddie Edwards on the stage, like running powerbomb, like threw him, and he landed on the stage back first. So they said he had a concussion after that. But with Eddie Edwards, he's gonna keep going. So of course, he ended up showing up anyway. Tried to get into it, Moose, but he had, I guess the orderlies came up and they probably put some anesthetic injected anesthetic into not an anesthetic, a sedative into Eddie Edwards and put him out and took him to the center, took him to the asylum. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see more of that next week. So that's fun. That's all that happened for that.
I'm just listening to this right now. The character. He's trying to play a character who's, I'm trying to say, is mentally crazy, psycho. But in real life, he might be different from that. So he's just playing a character who's mentally psycho or something. So, just to come out there that's probably why they're doing this, to make it sound like he has a psycho side of him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll make sense. It makes sense. I'm curious to see how far they're going to go with this, because they've been at this for like a better part of this year now, since like June, since this feud with Sami Callihan. So they've been taking this character all through Slammiversary, all through Bound for Glory. So I'm curious as to, they got to make a change at some point. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they've been going at this for a while now.
They are eventually will when the storyline gets boring or they can't come up with anything else for the characters.
Yeah.
Because they just throwing us psycho side of Eddie. That's just like the new one, kind of.
Yeah.
But then eventually they're going to get tired of, or like the story's going to get boring, or who knows what's going to happen. They're going to eventually stop.
Yeah, I think you think they're gonna, like, you remember how he was before, like a year ago? You think they're gonna give him back that Eddie, like the Eddie who was like more professional wrestler than obviously he's a professional wrestler. I mean, he was more wrestle centered versus more trying to get at people. You know what I mean?
I think so, eventually, because they're going to have to bring the face turn. Because right now it sounds like he's having a heel turn.
You said charm?
Face turn.
Oh, face turn. Yeah. Face. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that's. I feel like he's already face already, but it's like, but when he does come back from this, I feel like that's going to be. He's even going to be more face, like face than what we remember him as. So.
Yeah, because right now it sounds like that they have it sound like him having a heel turn. By the psycho, department of mental institution, because of the situation. So that's how I'm hearing it from. Is like he's having kind of a heel turn, kind of.
Mm-hmm. No.
Am I wrong?
No, you're. I feel like you're on the right track. It makes sense. It makes sense that they would do it like that, but it'll be interesting to see what they come up with next week, especially with what just happened. So we'll see what comes from that. Speaking of heel and face turns, to highlight some of the matches on the card. By the way, Donovan, he's going to be coming on in a while. I don't know if you want to stick around for that. I mean, I'd like you to stick around if you don't mind. Anyway, we did have matches in beneath all the craziness and character work. we did have some actual matches. LAX, the current tag team champions, defeated the team of Falaba and KM. And then they also proposed the idea of giving the Lucha Brothers, which is Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix, a tag team title shot, which I will not be opposed to at all, to be completely honest. I believe LAX is definitely one of the better tag teams in the world of professional wrestling right now. They're definitely highly underrated.
How about OG? Are they still with Impact?
Yes, the OGs are still with Impact, but it's like they've had this after Bound for Glory and the OGs lost. They had to have the bosses. The bosses, I guess, the powers that be over there said that you can't, that the OGs can't mess with LAX anymore. So the OGs went after Pentagon and Phoenix. Then they had a match with them, and a tag team match, and they lost. And that was last week actually, and we haven't seen them since. So you haven't seen the OGs since. They weren't on Impact. I watched all of Impact, and they never showed up. So, but yeah, I imagine they're still there.
All right. So I got a question, and you might not know the answer. If you do, so be it. So apparently, I am seeing this on my social media. Allie dyeing her hair and thinking of having a heel turn or something.
Right.
Because she's in that bag. So when I saw the photo, it looked like she was doing somewhat like a face paint, and then her hair was like brown or dark. So I don't know. Is she? You think you're having a heel turn still?
Actually, that's actually what I was about to bring up next, because so this is actually a good segue question, because the thing is, I believe it is a heel turn. This is after, for those who don't remember, it was back in earlier this year when you remember when Rosemary got put in the coffin by Su Yung, right? You remember that?
I remember. I saw the match. And I do remember that. And then Allie, I think he got tried to stop him, and then
right.
The bridesmaids were like, "No, to pull her away."
Yeah.
I remember it.
Yeah. Well, Allie had a last rights match with Su Yung, and she got put in a coffin herself. Allie lost the match as well as her Knockouts title at the time, so she got put in the coffin. And then, like, about a month later, she came back, and as regular Allie, but it come to find out that it was because she I'm gonna get to your question in a second. It come to find out that that it turned out that Allie had given her soul, that had left her soul in the undead realm, which she got buried. So she went to, and then another thing that happened, Kiera Hogan got put in a coffin and taken to the undead realm by Su Yung. So at Bound for Glory, Allie made the trip to the undead realm to get Kiera, but she also made a deal with James Mitchell that if you go down there, I'll get you in the undead realm so you can get your friend. But while they were down there, she got Kiera Hogan and was going to bring her back, but it turned out that James Mitchell was like, I told you how to get in, I didn't tell you how to get out. And then Rosemary showed up to make the save, although it wasn't permanent. Rosemary is still injured. Don't get confused by that. Rosemary is still injured. She got back, and then they ended up getting back, but Allie came back different. Like I said, with the dark hair, started acting differently. Her personality changed. However, she did tell Kiera Hogan she was gonna take out Su Yung for the better. But then last week, she ended up leaving with James Mitchell and Su Yung to I guess what they said, they were gonna help her not find the darkness, but so you don't have to fight the darkness anymore. They're just gonna, help her embrace it. And so that's what we got this week. Allie has embraced the darkness. So I was talking with Donovan about this earlier. I'm pretty sure this is gonna lead to Rosemary's return. I'm pretty sure. Because if Kiera Hogan, I feel sure they're gonna have Kiera Hogan try, but it's all gonna lead with Rosemary. We're gonna get another Rosemary Allie Su Yung feud when Rosemary comes back. So
I will say this right now. I am glad that they're giving her a different character, because what they had her as, it was kind of a Bayley WWE lookalike in some way. Before she was like that all yay, jumpy, going all 9 yards, being all happy and stuff. That almost looked like Bayley to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that they gave her a new character that made it look like now she's not representing happy, but at least she can act wrestling techniques up.
I know. I kind of am glad about the heel. If anything, it reminds me of when she was Cherry Bomb. Only she didn't. She's not probably. I doubt she's going to be cutting a lot of promos now because Su Yung barely cuts promos. So I don't know why Allie would now that with that. So I definitely see. I definitely love this. I really do. I like this new turn on it. But I'm pretty sure. But like I said, it's probably going to come to a head with Rosemary, and I'm all for it. To be honest, I'm all for it with this. I really want to see how they go about this because I feel like they can. This is going to be good. It's definitely going to be good stuff. It's going to be good stuff. What else is going on with that? And then more matches that happened. Johnny Impact defeated Matt Sydal. It was actually a good match. And then Killer Cross. Hey, Danny. Killer Cross tried to offer his speaking of which, Killer Cross last week tried to compete Johnny Impact for the world title, for the Impact World Championship, and he lost. So this week, Killer Cross tried to offer his help to Johnny Impact because he believes that Johnny Impact's going to have a target. He has a target on his back from just about everybody because he's the world champion, and Killer Cross offered his assistance, and he turned it down. Hey, Jamie. Killer Cross Johnny Impact turned it down. So I feel like I'm not sure where they're going to go from with this. I feel like Killer Cross is going to try and set himself up so he could be in that little circle of it. But we'll see. Main event though, Brian Cage defeated Sami Callihan for to retain his X Division title, and then he said he's going to cash in his option C, and he's going to do it at Nashville. So right now, as of last night, there is no X Division champion because Brian Cage just surrendered it to cash in option C. He left his title in the ring and then walked off. So in Nashville, January 6th, at TNA Homecoming, it's going to be Brian Cage versus Johnny Impact for the Impact World title. And oh boy, that's
that will be interesting.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it's definitely very intriguing because I want to see, because you got two guys who are very great in ring, very athletic. I think the thing about Brian Cage is I don't think people expect him. He's a big guy, but people don't expect him to be as athletic as he is. He's ridiculously athletic. And then Johnny with his parkour and his just all around athleticism he's amazing. So it's definitely going to be. I feel like if it's I'm not going to call it high flying, but it's definitely going to be up there. There will be high flying spots in there. So I'm not sure who I want to win more because I like both guys, but I'm curious to see what direction they take it, though. That's one thing for sure.
That's what you won't find out.
Yeah. But I had a question. I was gonna wait till Donovan got here, but I'm gonna ask you. Would you say how long have you been watching wrestling, Karen? How long?
Wait, what was the question?
How long have you been watching wrestling? Just like wrestling as a whole.
Since 2008.
Since when? 2008?
Yes. Like
it's
August of 2008. I would say that around that time or September.
Okay, I probably started like 06. No, yeah, it was like it was 06. It was around 06. Well, no, it was actually 05 because I remember the tribute show they did for Eddie Guerrero when he died. So yeah, it was definitely 05 to definitely 2005. So I had a question. I was watching this Walt Culture wrestling video earlier today, and they asked themselves, they had this question of true or false, or the way they put it, work or shoot. Now I wanted to take it here. I want to see what you thought. It said, true or false, wrestling is better than never been better than it is in 2018. True or false? What do you think?
Okay, so this is without the stunts, right? Like the acting part, right?
No, I mean just wrestling as a whole, just professional wrestling as a whole. True or false? In this year, wrestling is better is better than it has ever been. Or let me see if I can find the actual question so we can. It said, hold on. True or false? Wrestling, where is it? Wrestling has never been better than 2018. True or false?
I have to say it's true with some of the people or the companies. Because WWE right now is like a question mark to me on how they're selling this, and then the wrestlers are good, no doubt about it. I mean, it's just like the acting that some of this that the company has to make it look like they're stronger.
So you're gonna go with true?
Yeah.
So you're gonna say true. I just had a conversation with my dad about this actually. I asked him because I posed the question and I gave my take on it. My take on it is like I want to say it's true because of the fact of how much there is available. Because you got Impact, WWE, New Japan, NXT, the Indie series, all this other stuff. But at the same time, it's like when you look at it as a whole, you have to look at the good and the bad and sometimes the ugly. You got good, right. Your NXT, your New Japan, your Impact, or your Indies shows. The bad, you're gonna have some indie shows, some indie shows and some wrestling points are bad, but then you have the ugly, and then it's like, WWE falls in all categories. And I am not just posing it to WWE as a whole. I'm saying everywhere has good points. I'm not just being biased towards New Japan by saying it doesn't, because it does. There's some things like, they're not great, they're not great points, but you have to look at, mind you, when you look at wrestling, you have to look at WWE in it. W stands for wrestling. They still haven't changed it as far as I know. It's still WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. So when you have this conversation, you have to have all of that included. And when you include all of it, mind you, NXT is a part of WWE, and so you can't really knock it. No, I'm with you. I agree. WWE is a question mark. WWE is a question mark in that because of the inconsistencies. It is. It's very inconsistent. You can't have stories follow a storyline for 1 week and then next week it's like the storyline doesn't even exist. The repeat matches we've seen a million times. The part-time champions. It has its place. Go ahead.
And that's what I say it's a question mark for me, because it's understandable that yes, their wrestling is maybe not consistent or it may not be that good, but you also have to look at it like how well are you using some of the talent that are there, but yet you're not using. That gets me. And then especially when they have Brock Lesnar as champion, and you're having this storyline for him where he's barely showing up. For me, if I want to see a champion, I have to expect the champion to be there defending live show, Raw, SmackDown, SmackDown, where the championship is under, spending it on pay-per-views, clearly treating everyone or every champion the same. And then, so this goes back to Alexa Bliss and her thing. She talks about how they're giving this pay-per-view, a one pay-per-view, a freebie to Brock Lesnar, but it was an elimination chamber, and she has to defend her title.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then for me, actually agrees with her, because how is it okay that Brock Lesnar, who was barely defending the title as much as he should have been, is getting a freebie, but yeah, when Alexa is defending her title, it's and then she's throwing out there why is it okay for me to defend it, but yeah, it's okay for him to be gone. I can see where she's coming from. If you're going to have the women's defending in the title, you have to have the men defending their title as well. That should not be okay. We'll just give you a freebie, but you have to spend it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Actually, hold on, Karen, give me a brief second. I'm gonna call you right back. Give me a second.
What?
Okay, hold tight. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm working on something. Okay. All right, we're good. You good? Karen?
Oh, here. Okay, good. My thing was working.
Okay. All right, so.
And then it's just the headphones.
Okay. Hang on. All right. I think Donovan?
Yeah.
All right. Is everybody good? Can everybody hear everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the ruler of all hosts has just joined us. So, Donovan, welcome to the party. But like I said, I agree with you 100%, Karen, about that whole thing with Alexa Bliss at Elimination Chamber where she had to defend her title and Brock didn't. I wholeheartedly agree. But and at the same token, it's like that's one of the flaws. That's one of the bads in WWE. But and mind you, like I said, I know I keep having to drive this home. Feel like I'm beating a dead horse when I say this, but it is still. When you look at wrestling as a whole, you gotta look at that too, and that's kind of like the way I put it was 50-50. 50-50. Because one half you have New Japan, Impact, all these other places, and the good stuff about WWE. The other side, you have the limited bad stuff in all these other companies, and then all the mountain of bad stuff that's in WWE. So it's 50-50. I can't. If I had to pick a direct answer, I'd say yes. I'd say true, only for the simple fact of the fact that it is variety. The fact that we don't just have to watch WWE. That's why I say true. So that's what I say.
Okay, so I want to do this real quick. The question was,
you think wrestling is better in 2018? True or false?
Yeah, it's like true or false. Is wrestling is better than it has never been better than it is this year? True or false, Donovan?
False. I think it's always been good. WWE's gotten worse, but everywhere else it's the same. It's just become more mainstream.
So okay, so you don't think it's gotten better? You think this year's just the same? It's just flat. It hasn't gotten any better.
New Japan has always been great. It's just gotten better and better every year. So
That's true.
The past couple of years, it's pretty much been as great as it's been the previous.
Mm-hmm.
Since all of you guys started watching after AJ Nakamura and Wrestle Kingdom and Tanahashi Okada.
Well, I told you when I first saw it. I first caught it when in New Japan when Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada tore down Wrestle Kingdom. That's when I first saw it. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it since. That's when I fell in love with it. So, but I say true due to the variety. But at the same time, I was like, I'm 50-50.
Who's driving over here?
I was curious about that myself.
I'm at work. I just arrived at driving.
I was wondering what the background was.
Strapping on.
Sorry, Isaac. I didn't hear anything.
No, you're good. But we already covered Impact. Allie is now heel. She joined Su Yung. She's got her face painted. She looks scary. Brian Cage cashed in his option C. I told you about that earlier. Eddie Edwards got committed, so that's fun.
I like the when somebody says you're not there. You're not even scary. I keep thinking back to the Freddy versus Jason scene where that chick tells Freddy she's not even scary.
No, I mean, not that she doesn't look scary. She looks. Well, Karen put it best. Like, this is definitely a better look for her, like compared to what we got before.
Well, I feel like this is the Demon Buddy we've been leading up to.
I know that hence is the title. Like for the title, it took me forever to think of it, but I put Demon Bunny literally, because literally it's what she is. They're calling it Evil Alley. I'm like, that's cliche as all get out. It's cliche. She's not evil. She's, huh?
Yeah, it's Demon Bunny. Why would you call it like something different? Like
Yeah,
bunny, because before Allie was just like a bunny, how she was like jump bait.
that's what she went. That's what.
No. They're calling. She calls herself Demon Bunny.
Yeah, but
They're calling her Evil Alley.
Well, that's what they call it in the video, Evil Alley. I'm like, I wouldn't call it that. It's call it Demon Bunny. It fit because they call it Demon Bunny because you had Rosemary and Alley. You had a bunny and a demon, and then it's like now it's like she's Demon Bunny incarnate by herself, Although I'm pretty sure it's more demon than bunny at this point. Although, to be fair, I didn't get a good look at her Titantron. Yes, I'm still calling it a Titantron. Don't at me. I did get a good look at her Titantron. Her Titantron is basically the same, only it's black. Like how the bunnies that flip in her video are pink. Yeah, they're doing the same thing, only it's black. And she has a new theme.
It's called color editing.
Yeah.
We're not paint works, so just change the colors.
Yeah. She does have a new theme, by the way. I haven't heard it yet. I didn't get a good listen to it. I couldn't hear it over everything else I was watching that was going on while watching Impact.
Somebody will rip it off the show and just edit the crowd out a bit.
Or Impact Wrestling will just post the theme on there with the video. That's what they did. That's how I found Rosemary's theme. So yes, Danny, the Duke Blue Devils are awesome. So and like I said before,
Isaac, Karen, I gotta know. Have y'all put in your videos to be managed by Scarlett Bordeaux yet?
No.
you have to get with me about that because I what was this deal?
Charlotte Bordeaux is supposed to be managing or valeting somebody with
Yeah.
her pseudo porno segments.
Yeah.
Isaac, I feel like you could call yourself Golden Bordeaux.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get with me about that. Cool.
Yeah.
Coco is gone.
That's-
Temporarily.
She
Remember
did
this?
get security though, but the security she got was like some weird dude she literally picked up off the street. It was kind of weird. It
Well,
was,
all of her fucking segments are like porno. Like
Yeah.
like pornos.
yeah, but it was
Whoever's writing that, they need to like just stop. It's like
yeah. I don't know.
it's not even entertaining. It's just like how it's set up for a porn scene.
Yeah, it's a lot of tease worthy. It's very tease worthy.
Isaac,
Yeah, sorry. I don't like to use that word.
I have a new motto today. No buts.
Okay, what's the new motto?
That's the motto. No buts.
No, no buts.
Because I can share my Twitter post with you if you want. I can share my Twitter status if you want.
No, I'm good. I'm fine. You don't need that. I'm good for now. What else is going on?
Thank
So,
you, fans. A shiny.
so other than that, January 6th is the next show for Impact. Tag League starts tomorrow. Takeover is tomorrow. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're going to be doing a prediction show sometime today, I imagine. Correct, Donovan?
Yeah, because we got to put a prediction show and we got to get a special agree on it.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to do predictions earlier.
Yeah.
So we can, because even if Breon doesn't show up, we got 3 shows today, Karen. We got 3. Me
This,
and Isaac are on all 3 of them.
we got a special and we got a prediction show.
If I don't make it a prediction show, y'all already know.
Actually, you remember that agreement we had for Mondays and Tuesdays?
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it's just me, Isaac, and Ed this time.
Oh,
You know, Eli might fly in and say hi while he's going over Canada or something, but
I want. Funny thing, I went to get through Canada when I was heading to Chicago and coming back. So I've been to Canada for a little bit.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, I flew over through Ontario.
Ooh.
did Eli fly you? Because he flies in that area a lot.
Yeah.
No, Emi was not on the plane. It was just me. Besides, Emi, I don't know if lives even close to me.
No, but you constantly hear him on his airplane when we do the shows.
Yeah, he has like this fan going on in the background.
Hey, don't spoil the mistake, damn
Oh,
it.
come on.
Motherfucker. Aviation Emi. Chill out. He's a pilot, man. Don't try to
So,
break kayfabe.
I'm sorry.
yeah, but Impact is really building. I hope they find a home, to be honest. I hope they find a new channel to go on.
Wait,
But
did Pop drop him?
No, not yet. They got an extension, like a temporary extension. But actually, where I live stream it from, like where I get it, it's on a show. It's on a network called Fightful. I don't know where that is, but it's somewhere.
I have a question. Why are they even on Pop?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest. I could not tell you. I don't know why they're not.
They're hurt.
I know that, but I'm saying I don't know why I'm trying to figure out why they left Spike. Why did they leave Spike?
Too many regulations.
Uh,
And Spike doesn't really want. They put too much shit on wrestling, and they just fucking don't want to deal with it anymore.
fair enough.
Just like you didn't want to deal with CC anymore. Hey, that was an inside joke. Come on, you both should know who I'm talking about.
Hey.
Oh
I
man.
can't recall right now. I'm having difficulties.
Think about whose name's initials are CC.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, I don't know who CC.
The end of his last 3 letters of his last name are Sun. he wanted to get rid of Dan.
Oh, right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh,
I know exactly.
Cece said it's not the pizza. We're not
Although
making
that pizza
it.
is good, though.
Yeah. No, you mean he tried to get rid of me
Yeah.
first.
No, he ain't gonna, no, yeah, well, way back, but when he came back. We're not holding the past. We're holding the. Okay, thank you. We're not at Pinhead Photos. May I introduce you to the pleasures?
Ew.
It was a picture of Pinhead. We have. Yeah, it's the freaking book Pinhead, so it's a woman Pinhead. No, that actually happened. I've read the books. She was a he in the movie. In the books, it was a she.
All right, what's going on? What else is
And it
going
was
on?
more of a sexual. Yes, we're talking pop culture, and we are allowed to do that.
I know.
This is the whole point.
Yeah, we cover
We don't have a
everything.
pop culture show, right, Danny?
We cover everything on here. Everything.
You heard what I said, right, Danny?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Just like I am knee deep in Teen Titans right now. The original series, not the reboot.
Oh, the Teen Titan goes, oh my gosh. Okay, I want to say this right now. For 6 straight years, and I'm not joking. When I was younger,
Uh-huh.
for 6 straight years, I called myself Starfire Beast. No joke.
Starfire what?
Beast.
Starfire Beast?
Yeah, like Beast Boy.
So you mixed Starfire and Beast Boy?
No, it was like Starfire Beast. That's what I named myself.
Hey, guys, I gotta go. I gotta go pick up my kids from school. I will be back.
Okay, well, we're probably not gonna lie, we may not be here when you get back.
It's cool. I mean, hey, you got Karen, so.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So we'll figure something out. But
I'm
really?
not worried about it. Normally I have to stick it out, but.
Yeah. If anything, I'll see you on the prediction show.
Oh yeah, for definitely. I'll just let you know what time I want to do it.
Okay.
I'll call you later.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
So was that from the original series, or I hope it wasn't from
Yes.
Go. I hope it
It
wasn't from Go.
It was from regular series, and I thought it was straight up like give me the face, but apparently it was freaking 6 years. I thought it was 4. No, 6 straight years. I was literally saying Starfire Beast.
6 years?
Yeah, 6 years.
Oh my
I
god.
was still sure, but apparently I dragged along that long, and I didn't really notice at one point until 6 years were done.
Oh my gosh. Years? I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on the 6 years. Like, oh my god.
I know. You think a kid would stop after a certain amount of time. No, I kept freaking going.
Yeah, I know. I mean, here, if you're talking about bad habits, I had this one bad habit I used to do. It took me till I was 18 years old to quit it, and I finally quit it. It was I had this blanket when I was like a little kid, and I would hang on to, and I held on to it all the way throughout high school and even part of college. And then finally at 18, I gave it up. I was like, oh my, I couldn't believe it. I still think about it nowadays. My mom says she has it somewhere, but I have no idea where it is. No idea.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's still. I mean, there's so much to look forward to. I'm really looking forward to see what else will follow the fallout of what happens on Impact.
I think we all do.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what like. Here's one thing about me is I'm very patient. I'm a very patient guy. So it's like with the patience, it comes the fact of like, I want to see, I'm very curious as to when, because here's one thing I know about Rosemary's injury. I can't wait for Rosemary to come back. Here's one thing I know about her injury. One, oh crap, Bryce has updated. Here's what I know. One thing is she's moving. She can bend it again. Because at one point she couldn't even bend her knee. She couldn't even bend it. So the fact that she's is able to bend, she still has a brace on it, but she can still like move it and put weight on it and all that stuff. But after all that, I'm curious as to when. And then I saw her Bound for Glory. I mean, I don't know if you watched Strong Sheet, but I was freaking out when Rosemary showed up. I freaked out, like hard. Like, it was bad. Like, I need a sedative from how bad I freaked out. So
You talking about patience? I'm gonna say this right now. I have like little to none. Like, if I'm having a tired moment and say if I have to go somewhere and it's taking me longer, I snap right into like, let's go. I'm tired. I don't want to deal with this crap moment and stuff like that. So it's a big problem with that. So, and then lately it's been like kicking over to overwork, or like way more than it usually does, because like usually it would be like easy done. Okay, whatever. This time was like, oh crap! Because like where I was mentally to the video I did on Wednesday, I can say I was like in a storm. That's how crazy my brain was at the time.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know how much longer I can wait, to be honest with you. I don't know. Like, when she comes back, I feel like, granted, the fact that we saw her Bound for Glory was great, but after well, the thing is, Mitt, you can't really blame Sexy Star for injury because Sexy Star messed up her arm, not her leg. I don't know where she got the leg injury. I think it was from like an independent show, and then I guess it was worse than what it was on. It was worse than what it was on Impact, so she had to take time off. So.
She did not mess up the knee, and I wouldn't remember. And if that happened, it would have been happening at the same time she had the arm injury. So no, Sexy Star did not have anything to do with Blake this time.
Yeah.
It was just the arm.
Yeah. So the thing is, she's been out since May, if my memory serves me correct. Yeah, she's been out since May. It's an ACL. We all know how long ACLs take to recover from, but you can recover from it because football players, they just take a whole season off and then they're back the next year. But
yeah,
with wrestling,
I know this because my ex had the ACL thing, and then he had a couple more injuries, and then was out and had to get surgery.
So how long do you think? So she's been out since like May. Yeah, she's been out since. Well, she's been out since. Well, I'm on YouTube right now, and 6 months ago was 6 months ago when she got put in the coffin by Su Yung, which was her getting written off television. That was in May. That was May 3rd.
Okay, hang on. So if the taping is back, so if the show it was airing in May,
Yes.
so it would probably be January to April when they did. Because you have to remember, if it's taped, the taping is backed up.
Okay, so you're saying she probably had the injury like earlier before they tape. Well, obviously before the taping.
Yeah.
So
I think what it is when they did the taping, and Su Yung did that. I want to say it's around the January to April timeline, and then when they released the video, maybe it was on May 3rd, and then that's where she gets injured. I can't remember what day they released the video, but now the video is already from weeks before.
wait, which you're talking about the one? Not about the one where she got put in the coffin. The one before that, where she was face to face with her.
No. I'm talking about one about Su Yung.
Oh, like, are you talking about before or after Rosemary left?
The knee injury is the one. Is the one I'm saying. Like she probably had it during the January-April time because I'm not sure when they taped it.
So so you're saying, so I get what you're saying. So you're saying between January and April, this injury happened.
Yes, and then the taping happened, like where they taped it, and then they released it. It was back. She was out already, but they showed it how she got out.
Right.
We're not going to see her for a while.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
No. Okay. Now I got you. I got what you're saying. I got it. So now with that being said, it's been 6 months since May. It's more than, if we're talking before April. 6 months from April was 6 months from April was October. That was last month. 6 months from January was July. So by that what you said, and since you know Impact more than me, with that being said, I'm pretty sure, because I've seen her in interviews and all this stuff, and she still has the brace on. Like the most recent interview I saw of her, she still had the brace on. So
she may still have the brace on right now, but she is technically still out. And so the doctor says she's clear, and Impact says she's clear. She's unable to compete at this moment. They're afraid she will re-injure the ACL, and right now they do not want to injure her even more.
yeah.
The for Glory thing, I guess they want to do a special where she showed up for one time only, and then have her for like guest appearance one time only.
Well, then
get as hype that she is coming back one way or another.
yeah. Well, if that was the case, then I guess that one time only was Bound for Glory then, because that's when she showed up. So like you just said, if they're gonna have her like go through the rehab and all this other stuff. Hey, Tori, they're gonna go through all the rehab and all this other stuff. I guess that would mean like on Bound for Glory when she did show up, that was her one time like appearance, and so now we're looking for.
No, it's just to me, the way I see it, if she's showing up that one time, it means that she is coming back. But right now, she wants to inform us that she's still good. She's getting better, and we might not see it for the people who wasn't aware. That's the only way she's saying, "Hey, look, I'm still good. I'm still capable. I'm just taking my time."
Right, and that's fair. And that's absolutely fair. I had a buddy of mine. He tore his ACL, and he's like, he doesn't have the brace on anymore. But I know he's very, very hesitant about putting weight on it. In fact, he's got it so bad. He tore his ACL so bad apparently that he said he may have to get medically discharged from the military. So, but what I want to do right now is I want to see something. I want to see what the next big pay-per-view is. So, because if she does come back permanently, like there's no fear, there's no worry, like she is perfectly cleared to wrestle, then, because we all know, let's be honest, Karen, I imagine we can both agree that that she will be back, right? We can agree on that. And
100%. And like I said, because her one-time appearance, that's giving us hope that she is coming back. That is giving us hope that, yes, she's working her way back in the ring. Yes, it's giving us the chance to say, she's going to come back. She's going to get in that ring. And damn it, I want to see it.
I know. Trust me, I want to see it too. And so, the next big pay-per-view is Homecoming. That's January 6th. The next big pay-per-view is January 6th, and it's called Homecoming. Like I said before, the only matches that have been announced are Brian Cage versus I can't even think of his name. Johnny Impact. I don't know why I couldn't think of that for the Impact World title. But what I really want to, but I hope that whenever she comes back, she'll be okay. And because we know, especially, really think another thing about that is like, it's the fact that they're taking their time with the story. They're not rushing it. You know what I mean? They're like, they're like putting Kiera Hogan in there, keeping her involved in it, keeping like having Allie like every week having her get progressive, having it be more progressive. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I feel like if Rosemary was back sooner, like if Rosemary was like already close to being back, a couple things would have happened. One, they would have already had the rivalry with Su Yung, and then like Allie probably would have at Bound for Glory. That would have been her full return. Like if you were going to fully bring back her return permanently, excuse me, it would have been at Bound for Glory. Like I'm not mad with what we got, but I'm saying like the fact that she has been going, the fact that they're taking their time, they're being progressive with everything. They're not rushing anything. They're not rushing into the matches. They're not rushing to the end of the story. You know, like notice how after Bound for Glory, it took them 2 weeks to finally turn her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
And one thing I can say is Rosemary is really wanting to say, I'm returning.
mm-hmm.
She could have, she may or may not, and I'm not 100% sure, she may or may not tweet out saying, TikTok or like along the lines of
Because I follow Rosemary on
returning.
Twitter. You're 100% right.
So,
You're 100% right.
So if she really wanted us to keep suspicious of like, oh, she's returning, she could like be so freaking cryptic without even saying it.
You're right, because I follow Rosemary on Twitter. I imagine you do as well, right?
I knew it her thing.
Yes.
I think I do, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, but it's like I follow both Rosemary and Allie and the Demon Bunny page on Twitter. So it's like she does this every week though. She literally did it today. Like as a matter of fact, hang on. She did it earlier today. She posted like she'll post something cryptic and put #soon on there. Like let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can find something. Hang on.
Yeah, that's I think what she's trying to do is she's trying to be so freaking cryptic without even saying it, and for us to keep on our toes because she might be just saying this now and just get us suspicious like when is she
Oh
coming
yeah,
back?
like here it is. Like here it is for example. It says Impact Wrestling. It was just like what we talked about earlier. How Allie came out there with the face paint and all that. How she's with the Undead. How she's with Su Yung right now. And then Rosemary tweeted out. She said, "We warned her. #Dark War. #soon." So you know, and that's not the only one she's posted like that. She posted another one. She said. Like earlier, she said, silly little girls getting to play war while the Shadow's greatest general, the demon assassin, is forced to be patient. One by one, they will be devoured. The Dark War approaches. The #Dark War approaches. #soon. And then in response to what Allie posted saying, so I'm saying my goodbyes. Goodbye to my good side. It only ever got me hurt, and I finally learned it's a cruel, cruel world. That's a heel turn if I've ever seen it. And Rosemary and Rosemary responded by saying, "It isn't what we want. It's how it has to be. If only you had listened. #Dark War. #soon. #Demon Assassin." So
basically, what I think they're doing is, even though Rosemary is on silence right now, and with that tweet that Ellie made, yeah, she's having. It sounds like she's having turning heel turn.
Yes.
And not only that. I guess Impact wants Rosemary to keep us updated as long as she possibly could, without giving up, and then
right.
with that silent update, and how much she's doing from her side until she gets back in the ring.
Yeah.
I guess there's going to be a storyline with not only she's going to face Su Yung, but there's going to be along the lines of, and I'm calling this right now, and I'm a bit wrong, but go at me. Rosemary may face Allie one way or another.
Right. That's what I was talking about earlier. Like I do think that's going to happen because it depends on, especially if they go long for this, like what they need to do, what they probably will do. Because here's one thing: I think Impact is very good with telling stories. Like Impact, if I had to put in a list, Lucha Underground is probably the best at telling stories. And then number 2 is Impact. Because when they have a storyline they like and they can continue with, especially it's the reason why I think this is so good, and this is going to sound weird, but the fact that Rosemary is injured is actually a blessing in disguise. I'm not saying it's a good thing she's excuse me. I'm not saying it's a good thing she's injured, but the fact that the way she's driving the story while being on the sideline, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Like, it sucks that she's being injured, but hey, look at it this way. This is a good thing. And
Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you 100%. Even though she's on the sideline, FX wants her to be involved in this, though, because without her,
Yeah.
this is crap.
Yeah.
This is 100% dog shit.
I can't even lie. No offense to Allie. No offense, not even offense to Kiera Hogan. No offense to Su Young. But
Yeah.
if Rosemary didn't go down like she did, we wouldn't have what we have right now. If Rosemary was healthy, she probably would have. If Rosemary was healthy, she probably would have returned at Slammiversary.
Yeah,
Or not even at Slammiversary. She would have returned like a week or two before Slammiversary to face Su Young in like some insane vignette backstage. You know how they do the videos backstage, one of those matches backstage, or they would have had a match in the ring. Although, if I'm being completely honest, I probably prefer the former, where they do something in like a graveyard or something like that. Then we would have gotten that at Bound for Glory, a Slammiversary. Then we would have gotten like a follow up at Bound for Glory. You know.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying right now. And I agree with you. It's no offense to Su Young, Kiera Hogan, and Allie. It's just, if we have those three, and then without Rosemary, I don't know what the heck they're telling.
Yes.
So Rosemary being injured makes the story even more better to tell and more better to watch.
Yes.
And then it gives us hype and hope that one day Rosemary's going to return and then say, surprise! And then out of nowhere, she's going to go on a injuring spree or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's one of those things you have to look forward to. Is the fact that we can look forward to it without predicting it, and because that's what I love about this. Is like I can't predict it. I love not being able to see. I love like the fact that there's no timetable. Because when she left, we just started ACL injury. We didn't get a timetable of how long she was going to be out. We didn't.
Yeah,
you just guesstimate on other ACL injuries that you've heard about, like because it's been 6 months. Since the episode aired in May, it's been 6 months. So in other companies, maybe 6 months, depending on the person, 6 months is enough. But the fact that with the way they're telling the story, who knows? For all we know, she still has a brace on, because we've seen wrestlers wrestle with braces on before. But for all we know, with the brace on like she has it, she could probably be already in ring shape for all we know.
Yeah, and for the fact that they're not even the territory world, like you said, it also gives us a chance to say whether or not if her mindset is going to be different. Because you never know. Someone's mindset can be different from the before, or their character might change.
Yeah.
We don't know it. So the timetable of not, without being said, I think is the greatest part of the story too, because it just helps the story out better.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know. I don't see a character change much. If anything, she gets more, especially with an ACL injury. I know you have to be careful with it. I think she gets more careful in the ring if she does come back.
Yeah, I'm not saying like they're going to immediately give her the character change.
Yeah.
I think what I'm trying to say is like she may return, keep the character she has, and along lines may update the character a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. May add something new to it. Add something new to the already existing character. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I think that's what I'm trying to say. Like with a new character or something like that, it's not as quick. Like if Impact is listening, whatever you do, give Rosemary time before you update anything of hers.
Yes.
Because I do not want anything change
Yeah.
when she gets back.
Yeah.
To give her time before you say, oh yeah, let's just throw a new thing to
Yeah.
the character.
Yeah, and here's the other thing. I love how there haven't been any spoilers. You can't really spoil this. You know, if you like, this is one of those things that if you spoil it, you'll kill the whole vibe of it. Because right now, this is like the one story I can think of in professional wrestling, except for the Eddie Edwards story. Like, because this is the other thing about Impact and New Japan that get me. I can't predict where they're going. I can speculate, but I can't predict. Like, I have to watch it week to week to see what happens. Like, Impact, I'm curious. Like, here are the 3 things I'm looking forward to Impact. 2 things, actually. Yeah, 2 things. Here are the 2 things I'm looking forward to Impact. Next week, speaking of also, next week on Impact, the Rascals are supposed to show up, which is the team of Desmond Xavier. Give me a second so I can update this. Plus, we're trying to close this out, but I'm really enjoying this conversation. There's a new tag team that's supposed to be debuting, and it is the team of Desmond Xavier, Trey Miguel, and Zachary Wentz. They're making their debut on Impact, and and so that's something to look forward to. I imagine they're going to be a trio like OVE or LAX or the OGs, but still looking forward to see what they can do. But there's that. I'm looking forward to see if Allie has her first match. I'm looking forward to see where this thing goes with Allie and Kiera Hogan. And then I'm looking forward to see what what happens with Eddie Edwards. That's it. So other than that, but like I was saying, like, you can't really spoil this. There's no, if you spoil this, you're basically killing probably the greatest storyline in 2018 right now. This is. I don't care what anybody says. You can have me if you want.
Here's my the thing. If you spoil it, then you're just giving up on the story.
Exactly.
In fact, just creating.
Oh, perfect.
If you spoil it now, in fact, you better freaking be like, this is the crappiest story you ever made. But
Yeah.
No, don't spoil it.
Yes.
Because shit like this, and honestly, we cannot compare it to any story like this, because if anyone tries to copy it, there's no freaking way, because TNA made it so freaking unique, in which I love it, and because it's so unique, it's hard to say when someone is going to have a change of character, or if the face is going to have a turn, or it's going to have a heel, surprisingly. We don't know if this is on the way that it's supposed to, and I'm glad it's on the way it's supposed to with surprises. And honestly, something like this makes me want to question what's going to happen next. Not, oh, this is already spoiled, I already know what's going to happen next.
Yeah. So the bottom line is here. It's time to close out the show. We've been on here for an hour, and I love it. I really enjoyed this conversation. We got to do this again. I really enjoyed having you on the show, Karen. I really do. I really do.
Yeah. I honestly, when I'm back to normal,
Okay.
I think we can do a better, and I'm not having the timeline of like when I'm gonna have to go back to work or
Okay.
something. But
Here. Before we close out, do you have any final thoughts?
Only final thought I can think of right now is keep in mind, because I'm like Rosemary some way. The original Coco is gonna be back one way or another.
Yep. So looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the return of Coco.
Yes, right now Coco's like Rosemary. She's out on silent.
All right, but I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I'll be watching. I'm going to be watching for the return of Coco, for the realist Coco, the return of the realist Coco in the room. All right. Until then, my final thoughts are simple. Telling you, Impact is in a place where you gotta look at it. It's good stuff. I'm telling you. You got to find the story and Impact and hook onto it. That's what I did. That's what I did. I hooked up to Eddie Edwards and I hooked on to Allie Rosemary, and look where I'm at right now. I'm loving this. I'm loving it. I am. I'm loving this. So, again, we want to thank Donovan for the time he was on the show. We thanks again, Karen, for being on the show, for taking time out of your day. Hope we can get back to one day. We'll have once again one of these days we will have Coco. We will have, you heard it here first. Coco will be back on the show. We will have her back on.
Yes.
And, we will have back on, and we'll be doing just what we did, spending a half an hour talking about how good that this Rosemary storyline is. So until then, you guys have a good night. Until then, we must bid you adieu. So for now, goodbye, mwah, and good night. Bang. You guys stay golden. All right.